So I'm here with Greg, and we've got a new pack. We're gonna do a pack review today. But this is a local brand here in Utah, Akek. Brandon was awesome enough to let us use a pack for the day or for a few minutes here. We've got a few different things. We've got kind of like a day pack, like an overnight load. We've got some meals, sleeping system. I brought my pack with a bunch of my extra gear that we can throw in. We've got Greg's bow to put on it, and we've got about 50 pounds of extra weight that we're gonna somehow strap on it. So we're gonna go through the details, and maybe we'll even link their video, because they've got some good things that show how it works. But there's some really cool features on this pack. And it's right at that point of 3,200 where you've got quite a bit of space, and there's just a lot of good features that kind of make me excited to see what we can do with it and see how well it holds. It is a carbon frame. It's supposed to be 5 pounds. So this is a real first honest initial review and impressions, because we've literally not touched it yet.
Some of the things that just kind of stand out to me that I'm really kind of impressed with right off the bat is I love this feature of being able to, it's just a quick release right here. You pop these off.
That's similar to actually the bow hitch clip.
Yeah, very similar to the bow hitch clip. And then this actually slides off really easily, and you've actually got a full little hydration pack right there.
Yep. That's one thing with this pack, is it's got 2 bladder spots. So you've got one in your kind of a day pack or on the go pack. And that also creates a second shelf too.
But just looking at it, lots of storage, lots of pockets, to organize your stuff. Which I'm all about storage and all about pockets.
So they sell their own bladder that goes with it. No, it doesn't go with it, but you can buy it. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the frame will hold under weight. So we'll go ahead, we're gonna test the things from weight.
5.6 pounds.
Okay, that's pretty close. That's
pretty close to what it's listed at, is right around 5 pounds.
Okay.
Again, that just slips right on there. I love these quick disconnects.
Mm-hmm.
Take it apart there,
it's got all 4 of them.
It's
got all 5 there. That's quite a few. So he's got 3 in the bottom, 2 in the top.
So you can really break it down. It's really adjustable, just kind of looking at it. We separate it right here. So there's your carbon fiber frame, and you can take it off. So that's how you get to your meat shelf. There's your carbon fiber frame.
So there's your shelf right there behind.
One of the things that I talked about is being able to put meat here, weight here, as well as it should support in this area too. So we're gonna attempt that. That's why I brought the 2 plates. We're gonna see how well those straps will hold up.
That's the one question too for me, is how rigid that frame. It's pretty thin, so I want to see how well it'll take weight, how it torques, how it moves with your body or not.
So we'll slide this back together.
That's a nice tight fit.
Yeah, it is. There we go.
Okay.
So one of the things that I really kind of turned me onto this bag is one of the problems that you run into when you're packing a bow or a rifle in a hunting situation is you strap your bow to the back of your bag. So your bow's sitting here on the back of your bag, strapped on, and you're hiking up, the sun comes up, you see the animal, and you have to take the bag off, you have to set it down, you have to break it down, you have to in order to access your rifle. One of the real cool features with this particular setup is he has designed a quick release system. So we're gonna hook it up for the bow setup. I didn't bring a rifle this time. So one thing that is, I would like some type of strap. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Some type of strap coming through here.
That would
You could take that strap and kind of strap it down.
And then he did say they are going to adjust this pocket, make it a bit wider for bows, because it works great for rifle, but you get, depending on the cam, I mean, obviously the Prime has a bit wider stance with the parallel cams. They're going to widen that pocket.
How this works is it's got a quick release clip
here.
Kind of tighten that down. So it's got a release right here, which is really nice. So if it's on your back,
and this doesn't come off there, it stays on the shoulder strap.
It's sewn on in that place. So what it does is you can reach behind you, and if you pull this, it releases and your bow's right there, which is a really cool feature. The fear that I have, and I kind of want to see how it's, and again with a Prime, it doesn't sit in there as well as I would like.
For me, that's one thing, is you can't do the quick release if you're really just tying this in, buckling this in really tight on the bottom. So for a rifle, I mean, the genius idea is this goes on the side, you clip your rifle on the side, you quick release on the go.
So I'm just gonna put it on, because one of the concerns, that quick release sits right here. So you'd have to reach up and grab your bow. My bow's a little bigger, but you grab your bow and if you pull it, you can swing it up over you.
So I mean that would work really well if you're like, I don't know, if my full kit's locked in, I don't know if I'll be that accessible even.
Yeah, I think it's a cool concept. I like the concept. I just don't know how I'd actually use it.
For a rifle, it makes more sense when it's strapped to the side.
Yeah, when it's strapped to the side, it makes a lot of sense.
It's a lot.
It's right here.
But that's one concern when we first put it on, is this is not very long. And so when this is strapped in on that bow, it pulls on that shoulder pad quite a bit. So there's maybe some thoughts or questions on that, of how to make that work effectively for a bow if you're strapping on the center of the back of the pack there. I mean, if you're not using that feature, the quick release, just regular strapped on, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
There's another question also. So it's a 3,200 cubic pack, but it seems like it has a ton of room, and it's got enough retention straps on it, and we're not even cinching up all of them. So that's pretty compact. So I mean, there's nothing in it, but that you can.
It sucks in pretty tight. And that was one of the features that they talk about, is you could use it for a week or a day, and it's comfortable for both situations.
So let's get some stuff in there. We've got like tent, jet boil, got our climate, got a sleep system. Gonna pull some things out maybe out of my pack, and let's load it up and see if we can't get 80 pounds-ish in there. And
pretty close to it.
We're gonna hike a hill. We found a hill we can hike real quick here. It took us a minute. We loaded it up. We've got 50 pounds in plates. Just kind of testing both shells. The one issue we found on this one is the center retention strap isn't long enough. I mean, it comes close to the end of the plate here from the other side, fully let out, so it needs another 10 inches to a foot to get around, which, I mean, that would simulate, you know, a bigger pack or a bigger load. We've got a sleeping bag, we've got a tent on the bottom, we've got a jet boil, some peak mills, we threw in a set of pants and a jacket, some just kind of miscellaneous clothing you might take, warm weather stuff, or some layering things there. So what else did we throw in there? The water bladder's in there.
Water bladder, basically stuff that we would
threw in a kilt, we threw in a game bags. So total, it's, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff else we could put in there. We didn't put knives and stuff, but it's 75 pounds right now.
If you put the bow on,
it's going to push close to 85. But so that's a pretty, we're not going to, part of it is also the strap isn't long enough to get the bow on there as is. And so, yeah, that strap for the quick release, if you're going to do bows, has to be longer. Because otherwise it's pulling a lot on your shoulder strap.
I think pack-wise, it's fairly versatile. It's got a lot of room, it's got a lot of pockets. With that extra bag and stuff that it comes with, it is probably closer to what you think, 4,500, 5,000 instead of the
like 32. We were just thinking, because you could do a dry bag. The bag itself is 32, but then you've got this other strap down here for a tent or a bedroll. You could, I don't know if it'd be quite, I've had some reviews that have said, hey, you know, it's 3,200, but actually 5,000. I don't know if you get 5,000, but you're saving a lot of space by putting your bedroll down low. So if you're overnighting with an extra pocket back there, you could throw in an extra thing or do a dry bag.
Yeah. A couple of things. I'm big in the chest. I've got a bigger chest. It digs into me.
How's the waist strap?
The waist strap's comfortable. It's sitting pretty good. It sits right on my hips. It was adjusted fairly well for me right out of the gate.
Okay, we can go straight up and go up the road.
Let's see what it does with a little bit of angle.
Okay.
You know how well it does kind of holding me.
I will say that one, that second plate is trying to come out a little bit, but.
Yeah, and I can feel the weight shift. I mean, it's really not a great test in the sense that if we were really packing out, we would spend a bit more time balancing the weight. So going up, it's really not bad. It's fairly comfortable. Again, I think that plate is what's shifting weight. It's not balanced on my back, so I'm kind of having to counterbalance.
It's gonna want to jump out in a second. It's trying to.
So I honestly think what we'll do is I'll get it up to the top here, and I honestly, even though they say that it can carry weight, I don't think putting on the outside. I think putting the weight further closer to your back is just it's just a better concept.
So maybe for light gear, but not for a.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's gonna want to. Hey, Greg, let's just get it out before it falls out. Yeah, dude, it's. There we go.
I can do this. I feel so much stronger.
Well, I was like, every step you took, it was just shift a little bit out. I'm like, I just imagine that dropping. And then I miss catching it, and it rolls down to the truck or something. Like, I could see that being a really bad thing.
All in all, it's a really comfortable pack. Let's put the weight on the actual meat shelf.
Put the second one back on there.
Yeah, put the plate on the meat shelf. Couch. that sits so much better.
Does it?
Yeah, it's sitting level, it's sitting center. I feel well balanced. The straps sit a lot better. I didn't have as much problem with the straps digging into me.
We were like, how are you supposed to make this work? Oh yeah, there's a strap for that. So where you can, because anyway, this strap usually connects direct to your shoulder pads. Anyway, so that fits, that looks a lot better in it.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. It feels
solid.
A lot better. So we're gonna go down this grade.
And this is typical Wasatch Front hunting.
Yep. I should know that anytime I go with you, I should wear my boots, not tennis shoes.
You never know if it's muddy, if it's gonna, I don't know. It's Utah, we could get a snowstorm like in 5 minutes.
So that's the other thing. It doesn't come with a rain fly or a rain fly option at this point in time, but it does have those waterproof zippers and stuff. I would be curious to see how it would do, because we've both been up there in situations where you're hiking out and all of a sudden the weather turns sour and you're soaking wet, and then your gear's all soaking wet. So I'd be curious how that goes.
Yeah, you can see those zippers are waterproof. So, which is a good deal. I like that, the waterproof suit, you know, with or without a rain fly, but I'd buy it off, you know, other brand or buy a rain fly probably to put back in.
So we're gonna take it off. We're gonna strap a bow onto it. I prefer this a lot over the Ebly that I've got. Just the way that it balances weight and carries. So I prefer it over the Ebly. The only one that I might still consider over it is the Initial Ascent. And it's just, the Initial Ascent just handles weight a little bit better in my opinion. Okay, so
I don't know that you could really use this strap for it. I would maybe not even worry about that. So another thing that made it more comfortable is we took off that quick detach. It's just so short. I think there's issues with it pulling the pad, pulling your shoulder pad out of the way.
Yeah, because
this isn't long enough.
It's supposed to connect way back here, and see what it does to that shoulder pad.
But still, even with that, when you're stretched out,
see, look, but you can see what it does to the shoulder pad. It pulls it. So I love this concept. I love this idea, but as of right now, it doesn't work for what we'd actually do and what we'd actually need the pack for. It just doesn't work. It's just not long enough. If it was longer,
But they do have, we could use, maybe to strap it on with the center strap here.
Yeah.
So if we can't.
So this time, instead of doing it this way, I'm gonna take this center strap and I'm gonna, this one right here.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the boot and I'll strap it in the boot. And again, I think having some type of strap to be able to strap it like through. I am curious of where it's at now.
Weight wise?
85. My bow's about 10 pounds.
You don't have your arrow or quiver on there, arrows, so you're probably 7-8 pounds right now without your arrow, so it'd be 83-ish. So right now you're about 83 pounds. What do you think? Because I mean, an elk quarter could be close to that 50 pounds. That could be a realistic pack out.
Yeah, that could be a realistic pack
like not a heavy load, but that's going to be like, that could be a trip if you've got
50 pounds.
Got a ham on there, could be about 50 pounds. I mean, it might be.
Realistic. Okay.
It would sit a bit further away from you, so the weight distribution would be a hair different. But that is nice though, having that internal meat shelf, so you can still have your bow there and have hands free for walking sticks.
Okay, well, we'll see how it does.
Okay.
Here we go. It feels great on the shoulders. Sits pretty nice on the hips. That's where it holds a lot of the weight.
Is it moving at all from your hips? How's that frame moving? Is it sloppy at all?
It sits pretty firm.
Okay.
Like, I'm quite impressed with it.
Alrighty.
So again, it sits really well. It holds weight really well. Like, the frame seems nice and solid. The frame's not moving or shifting or flexing. I like, kind of similar to other packs in its style, it really holds the weight on your hips, not over your shoulders, which is nice.
I wonder one thing with these shoulder straps, I wonder if having more retention correlated there, because that was trying to kind of flip out when you first put it on.
Because like if I pull on these, it pulls the strap in, but it doesn't actually retain. It's comfortable. I mean, for what it is, it's comfortable.
The price on it's under 600, so it's not bad. And they said they're also going to, for the holster, they are going to the next run, they're going to open this up so you can put a holster or a firearm behind the pocket. So that's one of our questions.
And I'm really curious at how it
fits in between there.
How it's going to fit with the vinyl harness.
There's a pocket in here that would fit a spotting scope really well. Plus you got these for water or your trekking poles and tripods. And on both sides, it's got a really good sleeve that's going to be mostly waterproof, separate. So, okay, let's get it back down and go from there.
I mean, overall, for me and the fit for me, I would probably, give it an 8. out of 10 if I was rating it. It carries weight really, really well. The frame is very durable. It's quite adjustable. It sits on me fairly well. It's got a lot of really cool features that I really like. And for the price point, for everything that you get, it's really, really hard to beat at that price point at under $600. Some of the things that I'd like to see changed a little bit, if you're going to do a quick disconnect, the quick disconnect does not work with the meat shelf and when you've got weight or any type of system there. And it even doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't work well for a bow because of what it does to the strap.
Yep.
It sits too high. It's designed to come up over the top. So if you're going to do that, maybe move it down here so that it's more of a side clip instead of up over the top.
That was another issue we had, is when you're trying to take the meat shelf off, and that's what you're talking about, the meat shelf, taking it off. You unclip everything, and you also have to take that off to get the meat. It's just another clip to remove, but...
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just one of those annoying features. And as you can see, like, you can see that it's supposed to clip in right here. But if I clip that in...
Even the closest, that's the closest strap.
That's the closest strap. You can see how much tension and how it pulls that strap back. And it pulls on your shoulder. And it's just, it takes away from the comfort of it. And it doesn't hold very well. And so if you're going to do that feature, and I think it's awesome, I think it would be way cool. But I would, instead of up high, I might put it down low.
I wonder if you could...
extend it.
Because they have all these quick disconnect systems, right? All over the pack. You could almost, an idea would be to, so you could put on anywhere on the on here. So maybe make it a hair longer and make it so you could put it on at any portion of the pack there.
Yeah.
And that way you could adjust it where you need it to be.
Yeah, I think that would be super beneficial.
So this strap isn't long enough. We've decided, it's pretty long. If you're not using the secondary meat shelf, then it's probably fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it has how much more space. We cinched it down. You've got another 6-7 inches. But if you want to put some more load on there, if you're using that for anything,
like if you've got meat in here, even like a deer leg
or anything, you're gonna be
right here. It's not gonna.
And the thing is, this mini pack has a ton of room to go.
Yeah.
And that other pack doesn't quite match that capacity. The quick disconnect needs to be longer, and maybe have a little more flexibility of where it's connected, so that you can use it more. It just needs to be more flexible. Great idea. The center strap needs to be longer. I almost would like to see, one thing is, this is up here, which is fine. I'd almost like to see one that goes across. I don't know, just because the top of your bow, if you're not using that quick disconnect, because that number one is not long enough really, but if you were to use one, this could hit your bow up here, but I almost would prefer to have another one, a full compression strap across the top. I think overall I am impressed. You gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'd be right there, maybe a 7 or something, or if I could get it to fit, I might like it even more. It's really impressive. Now this is 75 pounds, a full elk, like half an elk, is gonna put you closer to 120-ish on a pack out. But I didn't notice, and I don't know if once you get to 100 pounds or 120, if the frame, because it's pretty thin, I don't know if that frame would, but it's pretty tough. I don't know if it would flex more, get under a certain weight, if it would really start to flex. Maybe we can talk to more about what it's rated for, but overall, I feel like it was comfortable, and it would move with you and be rigid enough to carry quite a bit of weight. Like this 75 pounds didn't feel like anything. I mean, it's obviously 75 pounds, but it wasn't uncomfortable. If you shift and move your body, the whole pack, there's not sloppiness, and there's not like a residual or delayed kind of resistance from the frame trying to catch the weight. It was right with it, pretty consistent. So I think the frame feels really good.
Again, super comfortable pack. It, just like what you said, I love the fact that it's not super rigid, that it allows for movement, but it holds that weight really, really well without flexing and bending and moving too much.
Total capacity is much more than 32 if you do it right.
Yeah, if you do it right. I mean, we just kind of stuff stuff in there, but if you did it right, you could get
even what's in there, you could get quite a bit more, but my pack's at 2,000 and it's noticeably, I watching it just as we're filling it up, there's a noticeable difference in what you could fit. Like my pack, I have to put the tent, a sleeping bag all on the outside, all weird, to get an overnighter.
One of the things that we missed kind of early on and we wanted to show you is it has got, on both sides of the pack, it's got these really large pockets that they go all the way down to the bottom, and they sit nice back in there. This would be perfect for a spotting scope. I think
rain gear, anything you need quick access to or easy access, it's right there. You don't have to dig through your bag. So, because this is once you get going, these zippers, they don't go down all the way on the main bag, and quick access to some of that stuff would be tough. But this
This
really
is
awesome,
nice.
and it's also the waterproof zippers on it again. Yeah, they did say that they've tested it with water, and it does. You know, if you really soak it, it's gonna get your stuff's gonna get wet in there eventually. I don't know. That's the rain fly for on the really wet. You know, when it's really wet, or you're leaving your bag for a while, could be an advantage. So, but that's something you can pick up separate too. So, okay, that's it. We might buy one. I don't know this year.
Okay. We'll see.
I don't know. There's a lot of good packs, but yeah, really grateful for Akek letting us use it, Brandon letting us test the pack and get it a little bit dirty, and yeah, work around. So.